Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Vic Singh, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the farmers' situation and the farmers' protests, and in particular, just explain in English to the ones that don't currently understand what's going on. I did see a lot of backlash, particularly on the Birmingham Mail news article and some of the Facebook pages that I follow, which are in the local area. And I just wanted to clear any misunderstandings up actually as to why these protests have taken place and why the Sikh community and the Punjabi community are in solidarity with the farmers of India. So in September, Prime Minister Narendra Modi decided to pass 3 new laws which have come at a detriment to the farmers of India, particularly with their livelihoods. So basically what Narendra Modi has actually done is he's passed 3 new laws without any consultation of the farmers' unions in India. So what he's done is he's sort of opened the market up to the oligarchs of India, the big corporations. Currently, as it stands, or as it did stand, there was an MSP, which was a minimum selling price, which the government used to pay the farmers for their produce, which would get them by as such. It wasn't much, but it was enough. What Modi has done now is he's completely eradicated that. So he's sort of left the door open for the big corporations to come in, for people like Ambani and Adani, who are very wealthy billionaire businessmen in India, to come in, pay next to nothing for the produce, and basically crippling millions of lives, because there's millions of farmers across India. I think within India itself, the agricultural sector makes up 40% of the employment. So if you think of 1.3 billion is the population in India. So if you look at 40% of the total employment is actually from the agricultural sector, that's affecting millions of lives. So obviously when they've taken the MSP out, it opens the door for the big corporations to come in and spend their money. The MSP was initially there to protect the farmers. Modi's decided to get rid of that completely. It could be that he might have some sort of secret deal with the oligarchs of India. No one is particularly sure, but this is what's caused outrage, not just in India, but worldwide. There's been protests taking place in Birmingham, London, New York, Vancouver, Paris, just to name a few. So we stand in solidarity with our farmers of Punjab, with our farmers of India, because it's not fair. Could you imagine working 13-14 hours a day in the sweltering heat and not even being paid minimum wage? Would you do that? No, you wouldn't. So I just wanted to clear up any misconceptions of what's actually going on. The reason rallies are being held across the world is to create awareness, because there's been a lack of media attention in this country in particular. In India, there is media coverage, but it's being tarnished by, obviously in India the media is all state sponsored, or it's owned by the big oligarchs that are currently trying to weave their way into the new laws and trying to buy produce at low rates. So you'll never get a fair and balanced view. In this country, it's starting to pick up. People, BBC, Sky News are all starting to report on it. But this is why the protests were taking place in the first place, because we needed to bring an awareness to people so they understood what was going on. Again, just wanted to clear the misconceptions up. As you can imagine, in India, 13 million tons of wheat is normally produced, and 50% of that comes from Punjab. So you can imagine Punjab is only in the Sikh population the Sikh population is only 2% in India. The majority of them would be farmers, but 50% of the overall 13 tons that was made during the pandemic actually come from Punjab. So you can see why the Punjabi and the Sikh community are in uproar, and this is why we're taking to the streets to protest against a fascist government that has never really sided with the minority. It's always been with the majority, and we just wanted to show that we are standing in solidarity with these farmers, And this is why there's millions of people sitting on the border risking their lives during a pandemic. Lives have been lost during this movement. So it 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 is very, very serious, and if you think it doesn't impact us, it very much does. So a lot of the rice, the lentils, the spices, even the cotton from our clothes, all comes from India. So if people are saying, "Wow, this doesn't really affect us in the UK," well, it does, because I believe it might be in the region of something like 70% of the produce that we get from abroad actually comes from India. That includes our fruit and veg, cotton, rice, lentils, wheat. India and Britain are known to have very well connected and very well established partnerships, and obviously that's going to continue once Brexit happens as well. So it's vitally important that we exercise our rights to protest, because without protest you can't highlight issues. And I said to somebody yesterday, in order to bring a tree down, in order to take the tree down, you've got to rip it from the roots. So you have to target the government and the big companies, but you also need to start from grassroots levels and talk about what's going on. I just wanted to clear all that up, and if there is any more questions, feel free to ask me on my socials or my number if you do have it. Long live the Kisaan revolution. May they come back victorious. May we come back victorious, and may justice be served, as I don't see why the average man should bow down to the big oligarchs of the world, and this is no different. So Kisaan Ekta Zindabad. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.